Several Gering High School students share their insight as they participate in the district's new Public Safety Academy. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, yesterday we told you about Gering High School's new Public Safety Academy, where 6 students will be participating in a year-long internship at 11 different organizations. Everywhere from the Gering Police and Fire Departments, County Attorney's Office, Capstone, Doves, and more, all to get a full grasp of career opportunities in the public safety realm. Police Chief George Holtis explains.
And they've all expressed a real desire to be a part of it. They understand the need, and we're all facing the same thing. We're all trying to recruit people for our future. We're trying to recruit people to stay in our communities, and we just felt like this was a good opportunity to identify those kiddos, like these 2 youngsters with us today, that have a heart for service, and expose them to a variety of those service industries, and hope that we can get them to stay in our communities or come back to our communities after their college education.
2 of the students, Jared Heinbach and Julie Anderson Sands, explained their hopes of what they want to get out of the academy.
So what I'm looking forward to is an opportunity to learn about all these different organizations and what they do and how they do them, which I think is just as important. What drew me towards it was just speaking with our student resource officer, and he told me it's a great opportunity to learn what it's about, and it will help guide me and help me decide if this is really something I want to pursue or not.
I think it's an amazing opportunity. I like going to the different places and learning the different things that everybody does to help serve the community, and I really think that it's something that I could prosper and become into for a while.
The students will be able to get lots of hands-on experience during their internship, but there are some areas that will be off limits.
Certain activities like forensic interviews, anything confidential that's really highly sensitive or could cross over into somebody at their peer age, we've actually cut out. So organizations like Capstone, Capwin, even Doves, we've limited it to a project or a sit down for a couple of days where they understand the operations of the program and get an understanding of what that program does, but not getting into the weeds of things and being part of interviews or anything like that.
Chief Holtis and Fire Chief Nathan Flower also add that when it comes to police and fire calls, student safety will always remain priority number 1, and they'll do everything to keep them out of harm's way. Well, after a heated and contentious city council meeting Tuesday evening, Mitchell Mayor Dave Curtis has resigned. Curtis drew public ire after citizens learned he was in the process of hiring an engineer to design plans for downtown revitalization that may have closed off a section of Center Avenue to motor vehicle traffic. Curtis told the masses that these were only early discussions, but community members said it should be the residents, not the mayor, that work together on similar projects and present them to the council. Curtis was elected to the position in November of 2018 after a close mayoral race with write-in candidate Paul Murrell. Well, coming up after the break, Bill Boyer's in with a much cooler weekend weather forecast. He'll have that right after this on KNEB.TV News.
At Platte Valley Bank, we believe it shouldn't cost you money to access your money. That's why we offer free ATMs anytime, anywhere. Whether you are across town or traveling abroad, there won't be an added expense to access the funds in your Platte Valley Bank account. Free ATMs are just one of the great benefits of banking with us. Stop by to talk to one of our friendly associates to discuss what else Platte Valley Bank has to offer.
If you're like me, you're willing to travel for a good steak and a great dining experience. Bobby Joe's Branding Iron in downtown Bayard has just that. Some of the Panhandle's tastiest flat iron steaks, ribeyes, and even prime rib. Pair that with a Western dining experience in our quiet dining room or fun-filled main dining area, you and your family are sure to have a great night out on the town. So if you're looking for a great new restaurant to try, you just gotta head on over to Bobby Joe's Branding Iron in Bayard, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch and dinner.
This is KNEB.TV weather from the KNEB Storm Center, your trusted source for weather.
Well, we're going to deal with warm and downright hot conditions here early this evening. Temps are going to fall down into the 80s and then eventually the 70s and hopefully the 60s before tomorrow morning. Doesn't look like we're going to see much cooler than that. Temps are going to be hot again tomorrow, and then it's going to turn more active with some rain and thunder possible. Best chances are Monday and Tuesday, although can't rule out a storm tomorrow or Sunday as well. 98 yesterday, missed that record by just a couple of degrees. We broke a record today, though. Nothing in the rain gauge, still below normal as we go across the region. Look at these temps right now. We have upper 90s, near 100 out there in many locations. We exceeded 100 in a few locations today. Records shattered all across the region. And look at some of these temps here still this evening. Winds are under 10 mile an hour, not providing any relief from that heat. A severe weather threat well to us tonight. Now tomorrow, we in a marginal risk of severe storms here in the area. We're not going to see a ton of thunderstorms, but those that we see could pack a punch on into Sunday as well. Again, an isolated coverage of showers and storms for the weekend. Your football forecast tonight is going to be a warm one. Maybe near 90 at kickoff, down into the 70s the fourth quarter. That is about all that we're going to see out there. Quiet conditions, partly cloudy. That's mainly all we have, just a few clouds overhead tonight. Shouldn't see anything in the way of precip tonight, but that will change. A better chance starting tomorrow. Lows overnight, upper 50s and low 60s. Now tomorrow, we start the day with partly cloudy skies. We end the day with some more clouds, and we bring in a chance of some isolated late-day thunderstorms here across the region. You can see they'll be hit or miss, scattered, isolated, widely scattered variety. Better chances come early next week, but we're going to kind of repeat that forecast again on Sunday, only knock several degrees off these temperatures. It is going to be baking hot out there. 90s again tomorrow. It is going to be downright hot down in Lincoln for the football game on Saturday as well. Precip isolated, but again, if we get under some of these, a few hundredths not out of the question, maybe even up to a quarter of an inch under some of the heavier showers. 61 overnight with a mild night expected for tomorrow. It'll be sunny and hot, and stray late thunderstorms will be in the 90s as we say for 80 chances. Some it looks like Monday, and it's better chance late days on into it will top quite into the lower 70s for Tuesday, back in upper day Friday.
Welcome to Kelly's, home of the Valley's best selection of wine, spirits, and beer. Whether you're brand loyal to the tried and true brew or really enjoy trying something different and new, Kelly's has something for everyone. Family owned and operated and right on your way on West 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Kelly's Liquor. If you can't find it at Kelly's, it's not worth drinking.
What a year 2020 was. Now's the time to get out and travel this summer to see family and friends you were not able to see this last year. Spend more time enjoying your trip by flying United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with daily flights to and from Denver. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at ROMA Italian Restaurant. And don't forget, Thrifty Car Rental is here for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and hitch a ride with your BFF, Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
Logos in Gearing is the place to get all of your school spirit gear, personalized gifts, and promotional items for your business and employees, and banners for any special event. Logos is also the only place to stop for custom screen printing or embroidery. You can even design it yourself on their interactive website. Stop into Logos today. They'll design it, print it, and have it to you in no time. There's no job too big or small for Logos. That's Logos in Gearing.
Welcome back. The Scottsbluff Police Department is seeking the public's assistance in regards to 2 shots-fired incidents that occurred the evening of Sunday, August 29th. Sergeant Cody Enlow explains.
These 2 shootings, we believe, are separate from the Saturday the 28th West Overland shooting. Approximately 8:30 at night, Scottsbluff was dispatched to West 20th and Avenue C, D area in reference to 2 shots being fired and a vehicle, a silver pickup, fleeing eastbound from the alleyway. Officers arrived in the area, did locate several unspent 9mm rounds, as well as 1 spent 9mm shell casing. Approximately an hour and a half later, Scottsbluff Police responded to a second shots fired call in the area of East 15th and 16th Ave. where a reporting party advised 2 shots had been fired out of a vehicle at him. The subject wasn't struck with one of the rounds. However, the vehicle continued northbound on 16th Ave and got to the intersection of East 17th Street, where the RP heard 3 more shots being fired. Like the first one, this reporting party indicated a silver Dodge pickup is the type of vehicle that the shots had been fired from. If individuals are getting this type of information on their social media accounts, we ask that they contact us. As well as if you live in the immediate area of West 20th, West 21st, and Avenue C and D, and would have some sort of a security surveillance system to your house, Ring doorbell cameras, anything like that, if they could look at those from the 29th of August. The first one I think was at 8:32 and the next one was at approximately 10 minutes after 10. So if they could check their systems and see if they have any activity with anybody, shots being fired, a silver pickup, and if they just have information on it to give us a call.
Well, a 48-year-old Scottsbluff man has been charged with first-degree forcible sexual assault for an incident that the victims say took place at his apartment last week. Bond was set at $700,000 during an initial appearance Tuesday in Scottsbluff County Court for Amirjit Singh Carey. Officers were dispatched to the 600 block of East 16th Street last Friday night and located a victim who reported she had been sexually assaulted by Carey after she and another woman had followed him to his home. Court records say the victim told investigators at a certain point during the evening the defendant followed the woman into the bathroom and Carey proceeded to take her into the bedroom and sexually assaulted her while she repeatedly told him to stop. A preliminary hearing on the Class 2 felony has been set for September 13th. And Governor Pete Ricketts is outraged following news that President Biden is attempting to mandate coronavirus vaccinations on healthcare workers and private employers. Ricketts says Biden's announcement is a stunning violation of personal freedom and abuse of the federal government's power. He says this plan isn't about public health, this is about government control and taking away personal liberties. Ricketts added that it's Americans, not the federal government, who are responsible for taking charge of their personal health, and it is not the role of the federal government to mandate their choices. The governor concluded by saying Nebraska will stand up to President Biden's overreach and will be working with the Attorney General to explore all options. Well, still to come, your Fridays in the Field and a Husker chat with Sean Callahan. Those stories and more in just 90 seconds. Who is Hydrotex? Hydrotex manufactures and distributes over 300 different high-performance lubricants, including fuel conditioners, hydraulic and transmission fluid, and more. We've been helping customers improve their operations for more than 80 years with products made in the USA. We sell directly to customers and can even deliver right to your door to offer excellent service and value. Our products are made to exceedingly extend drain and grease intervals to reduce maintenance and labor costs to improve the budget. Whether you're in a factory, farm fleet, or like to go fast, Hydrotex is here to help. Visit your local Hydrotex dealer in person or online today.
Foxview General Hospital's mission is to lead and innovate in healthcare delivery and community wellness. This is important to us so our community knows the importance that we place on the efforts to keep our community and our surrounding areas well. We appreciate being here. The staff that we have at Foxview General Hospital is grateful to serve the community of Alliance, Nebraska.
In boots, new and old, you've walked the rows of life, a fence length of time. You fought the floods, snow, and sweltering heat, and lifted breathing and settled pain. With a smile and a cry, you've strengthened your community and future generations. Sometimes with nothing to say. Often can't say enough. Like, let me do it again.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the FNBO Ag Desk. FNBO, the great big small bank.
Welcome to this week's Fridays in the Field, brought to you by FNBO, the great big small bank. We're out in Scottsbluff for our final chat with Jason Harriman, a farmer who grows corn, soybeans, alfalfa, and then other forage crops for their cattle herd. Jason, tell us first off, how did the season go for you?
Season's gone pretty well. For being hot and dry right after we got done planting. It was kind of fast and furious to get irrigation going. Seasons went by pretty quick, but things look good. Things I think are early, sure show early. So we have continued to have this heat right now. It's probably going to be an early harvest for some of these crops. So.
Jason, along with the heat, what were some of the biggest challenges for you and farmers out here in the Panhandle?
Water was the biggest challenge, keeping things wet, trying to keep that profile built up. That was the hardest part, and timing was a big thing, early on, I think for us. But I think for us the biggest factor was the hot and dry summer, and just trying to keep things irrigated.
I know. I heard from a lot of farmers that water has been a big concern all summer since the Bureau of Reclamation put out an allocation on irrigators along the North Platte River system. So with all of that, how is harvest looking for your fields?
Harvest is going to be, I think some of this corn is going to be early like it has been last year and the year before. Things are really starting to dry down now. We're past dent now, and the water's out of the ditch. Guys are combining dry beans already, and with the weather looking like the way it is, there'll probably be, I don't know if we'll do any high moisture stuff. It's a possibility. We'll see how it goes, but I bet you by first of next month we'll be probably dipping into some of the early planted corn. So.
Jason, how about the soybeans? How did the watering go, and how are they doing for harvest?
Soybeans are tracking really nice. I bet you here in another 15 days we'll probably be cutting some. With the heat the way it's been this past couple weeks and the water going out, I would say, in the next 10 to 15 days, probably have a field or two that maybe might be close to being ready. So end of the month will be a busy time for combine and soybeans for us.
Okay, so the soybeans are a bit later than the dry beans, but you have an elevator that takes the soybeans right here, right?
They go here locally in town to Crossroads. Shane over there has been working with us, and they'll go right here. Don't have to haul them very far. If we want to, we can put some in the bin, but I think this year, the way price is, they're just all going to go to town and sell them over the scale. So.
Now, Jason, you and your family also have some cattle. Will you be saving some of the corn you raised for winter feed?
We keep a little bit back, not very much, just a little bit. Corn price looks good, so most of that'll probably won't set on too much of the corn this year.
I'm Chabella Guzman, and we've been out here in the fields in Scottsbluff with Jason Harriman. Jason, thanks for sharing this summer with us and your crops, and hopefully you'll have a great harvest. And this closes out our session of Friday in the Fields, brought to you by FNBO, your great big small bank.
New looks and new decor can be found at Compliments for You and Your Home. Check out the newest styles from Tribal, Charlie B, Ethel, and more. Compliments also has the shoes, purses, and jewelry for any occasion. Plus, right now, get 20% off all clearance apparel. While here, take a look at our solar lights and felt birdhouses. Finally, visit our newest addition, Katie Chandler and her salon. All this at Compliments for You and Your Home, 1708 Broadway, downtown Scottsbluff.
When it comes to helping local folks with the loans and financial advice they need, we don't horse around. Our only goal is to help you and your family achieve your financial goals with the right loans and savings products. So if you want to bank with people that care about you and your financial needs, stop by or give us a call. First State Bank. We're big on you. Member FDIC. Online at fsbcentral.com.
Well, let's take a peek at what's happening on your weekend community calendar. That's a look at today's community calendar, brought to you by First State Bank, honoring those who give back. Nominate your community champion at fsbcentral.com.
It's that ducky time of year again. The 24th Annual United Way of Western Nebraska Rubber Duck Draw is Saturday, September 18th at the 18th Street Plaza in downtown Scottsbluff. Grand prize is a 2021 Toyota RAV4 from Team Auto Center. Second place, a 2021 Honda Pioneer 520 side-by-side from Sandberg Honda, plus 38 other exciting prizes. Adopt your duck today for just $10 at Team Auto Center, First State Bank, Main Street Market, the United Way office, or online this year at uwwn.org/duck.
Find out what convenient really means at the Western Travel Terminal. Start with our great selection of food and drinks, from for real milkshakes and fresh brewed coffee to snacks and hot food. Next, check out our beer and spirits with their everyday low prices. Finally, let us work for you with our full-service gas station and automatic truck and car wash. All this can be found at 822 South Beltline in Scottsbluff. Western Travel Terminal, your convenient shopping, restaurant, and full-service gas leader.
At Platte Valley Bank, we realize the way people want to bank in the future may be different than it has been. As comfort levels and desires vary by person, banking may be different for some, yet not for others. We offer the best of both worlds, a traditional banking experience with our friendly tellers and an online or mobile banking option with features that you can personalize and utilize anytime, anywhere you go. So you can bank how you want, when you want, and from where you want to. Platte Valley Bank.
And finally tonight, the Huskers stay at home for a second consecutive week when Nebraska welcomes the Buffalo Bulls to Memorial Stadium for non-conference matchup. Sean Callahan has the latest.
Hi, I'm Jason Jorgensen. It is time for another edition of Husker Chat, brought to you by Acres Equipment. As always, we're joined by Sean Callahan, the publisher of Husker Online. Well, Sean, we have a win to talk about, as it was kind of a slow start for Nebraska, but eventually they took over and played pretty well against Fordham.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those games. It's like in golf. You go to the driving range, you buy a bucket of 100 balls, and you just start swinging. And that was Nebraska on Saturday. I mean, there were some pretty ugly swings early in that game at times, but they kind of found their rhythm and made the most out of that. And that's what a game like that's for. You know, you don't get a game like Fordham in the Big Ten where you can, kind of try a lot of different things, play a lot of different players. They maximize what that game is. And now the key is, can they build off that into Buffalo?
I thought it was key last week. You talked about how this program needed a game like that, and it had been really a while since Nebraska had had a big blowout victory that a lot of kids got a chance to play.
Yeah, 88 guys got to play. The previous most under Frost, I believe, was 70. And I want to say that was at Maryland, where they pretty much played the entire travel roster that day in 2019. So, to see 88 guys play, getting really an entire second and third unit in, some guys, a lot of guys made the first snaps they've ever played in their career. And that's what that's for, because when you're playing a Big Ten opponent where all the coaches now make between $4 and $8 million a year, it's really hard to play a lot of guys because the games are tougher and the stakes are higher. So just to have that opportunity, and I think some of the guys man, we should have pulled up a little bit ahead earlier in that game, and maybe some of these guys would have played even more than they did. But I think they were just glad to get that third unit in there for a few plays.
Today on Husker Chat, we're joined by Sean Callahan. We're brought to you by Acres Equipment. I think another thing the coaching staff had to like is, one, things went pretty well. Nebraska had a dominant victory, and some of the newcomers that we heard about during the summer and in the fall camp really had big games for Nebraska.
Yeah, Samori Torre and Marquise Stepp, the two prize transfer portal additions for Nebraska, both lived up to expectations. Torre had over 100 receiving. He had a rushing touchdown. Stepp had 18 carries for over 100 yards rushing. So between those two guys, when they were added to the roster in January or December, they got exactly what they thought they were going to get from those two players. So I thought that was really, really big from a confidence standpoint to get them going in the system, get some continuity set up. And now the question is, will Marquise Stepp be the starting running back going forward? I don't see how he's not, but you just never know where the coaches are at on that decision.
We've also seen through the first couple of games some new wrinkles on offense for Coach Frost, bringing back a little bit of option football. Certainly Nebraska's not relying on this, but it's kind of cool to see them running. And Adrian Martinez appears to be pretty comfortable with that.
Yeah, they've added kind of a new wrinkle into their base look in that triple option play. A lot of teams run the run pass option, the RPO, and I think that's just another wrinkle that they brought in. And the key is the quarterback is comfortable with it. But some of those pitches, they make you hold your breath. I mean, they're up there and out there for a long time, and Adrian has executed those plays really well. And I'm sure opponents now are going to scout that more and have a better read on it. And that's where Nebraska has to build off of that and try to kind of create different looks to it as well.
How about this one with Buffalo? This has been an emerging program, but our old coach, Lance Leopold, he went to KU. A lot of the players followed him. How much is left here, and how big of a threat is this on Saturday?
Yeah, you look at Buffalo, and they really are, I mean, in my opinion, the class program in the MAC in all sports. I mean, they're really good in basketball and football both, and it wouldn't surprise me when conference realignment shifts again that they get a call up to a different league from the MAC. based on just what they've done in their sports there. But Lance Leipold left that team loaded. They almost won the MAC a year ago. I think if his entire team would have stayed intact and Leipold would still be there, they would be the overwhelming favorite to win the MAC. But they lost 16 guys in the portal. They got a new coach after spring ball ended. So they've got a lot of challenges. But with that said, they did what they needed to do in week 1 against Wagner, 69-7. Now Wagner is 1-13 over the last 2 seasons. Not exactly a Bell Cal FCS program, but they made it look like what they were supposed to. And as we know, that's a lot easier said than done.
As you start to break this one down for the Huskers, what are some big matchups for them this Saturday?
I think line of scrimmage. Can Nebraska's offensive line continue to progress, and can they run the ball? Can they take those base run plays and get 4+ yards on them instead of 1 or 2? And especially early in the game. I think last week we saw that. And then can Nebraska, have the time for Martinez to throw? When he has time, we know he can get it done. He had plenty of time last week. Defensively, can Nebraska physically hold up? They're going to see a team that wants to run right at him. I think those are really the biggest keys on Saturday.
All right, we'll see how it goes. It just felt so refreshing on Saturday. Things, went to form, and boy, if a program ever needed a game like that, certainly Nebraska did last weekend.
Yeah, the fan base needed one of those days where you could just kind of put your feet back and relax. There just hasn't been very many of those days in a long time, as you said, Jason.
All right, Sean, as always, we appreciate your time. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, thank you.
And that was Sean Callahan, the publisher of Husker Online, joining us for Husker Chat. We're here every week, and of course, it's brought to you by Acres Equipment. I'm Jason Jorgensen.
Well, thanks, Sean. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you back here on Monday.